It's a muggy summer night in Chicago, 1995. A peculiar experiment unfolds on a quiet street corner. A team of economists and street sex workers are about to rewrite the rules of risk, reward, and human behavior. One peculiar twist: these prostitutes wear bulletproof vests. Why? Because in the world of SuperFreakonomics, even the grimiest streets teach you about incentives, unintended consequences, and the surprising economics behind seemingly freaky behaviors. What bizarre insights hide behind these vests? Stick around, it'll change how you see risk forever. You think risk's just about danger? Not quite. Dive into Chicago's streets where prostitutes accepted bulletproof vests and shattered stereotypes. It's more than protection, it's a lesson in human incentives and economics. In Chicago during the mid-90s, economist Stephen Levitt partnered with a group of prostitutes who agreed to wear bulletproof vests on the job. At first, it seemed like a no-brainer. But crime rates, customer behavior, and injury reports began to tell a story nobody expected. Wearing vests actually lowered violence significantly. Yet, the workers didn't always choose safety in straightforward ways, hinting at deeper psychological currents beneath simple risk-taking. Think of incentives like a vast, invisible puppeteer. People don't just weigh danger abstractly, they respond to immediate payoffs, like cash or social pressures, far more than you might imagine. It's like offering someone a tadpole and calling it dinner. Without meaningful reward, they'll ignore obvious risk cues. This is why a clever incentive structure can rewrite predictable behavior, even in the gritty chaos of street crime. Levitt's data flipped the crime-fighting playbook. Instead of just targeting criminals harder, understanding incentives, like how prostitutes balanced safety gear with client preferences, opened new strategies. The takeaway? Criminal behavior, even violent crime, isn't pure chaos, it's a complex economic choice. That insight? Pure gold for policymakers hungry for smarter interventions. Forget doom and gloom. What if your thermostat's biggest foe isn't what you expect? Enter the rogue scientist who flipped climate change solutions upside down, unveiling a super freaky fix hiding in plain sight. Ken Caldera, a climate scientist, once proposed a radical idea. Instead of waiting decades for green policy to slow warming, why not spray tiny sulfate particles high into the atmosphere to reflect sunlight? Almost like putting the planet under a giant sunscreen. This geoengineering idea shocked environmentalists, but proved surprisingly effective in computer models, dropping Earth's temperature in a decade or two. Imagine Earth's atmosphere as a thick glass greenhouse. Just a thin veil of tiny particles can reflect sunlight, like the frosting on a lampshade dimming harsh light. This principle isn't magic. It's physics playing out on a planetary scale. Just as sunglasses protect your eyes with a simple filter, sulfate particles filter sunlight before it fries the ecosystem. Here's the kicker. While geoengineering sounds like a hack, it might be humanity's best shot at buying time. Policy negotiations drag their feet, and emissions keep rising. This quick fix forces us to rethink climate solutions. Maybe being super freaky is exactly what the planet needs to dodge disaster. You think prostitution's a straightforward market? Think again. Dive into the kinky economics where power, choice, and incentives shape a world nobody admits out loud. In a standout study, Levitt analyzed pricing of streetwalkers in New York and Chicago. Prices spiked during colder weather, precisely when client risk dropped, and dipped when rivals flooded the market. This wasn't random, but an uncanny dance of supply, demand, and perceived danger. A market as rational and fluid as Wall Street, but with very different stakes. Prostitutes showing more risk tolerance when competition heated up explained why safer practices weren't always adopted. Imagine a price war where pushing boundaries means survival. The invisible hand steering this game pulled not just on money, but on survival instincts, layered deeply with social shame and stigma that complicated straightforward economic behavior. Social stigma operated like a tax on these women, restricting their options and pushing some into higher-risk behaviors for higher pay. Economics exposes this hidden story. Stigma isn't just social judgment. It creates harsh economic pressures shaping choices, risks, and lives. The takeaway? Economies always live inside messy human realities. If heart attacks suddenly nosedive, what's the secret? Not better doctors or meds, it's something way weirder hiding in everyday behavior. Brace yourself. When New York State passed strict indoor smoking bans, heart attack hospitalizations dropped almost instantly. But why? Levitt and Dubner discovered the actual magic was a combo of reduced smoke inhalation and the social reshuffling of smokers. The law didn't just change air quality. It transformed interactions, habits, even who hung out where, creating a supercharged health domino effect. Think of society as a giant web where one tug sends ripples everywhere. Smoke-free laws acted like a pebble dropped in a pond, triggering waves of healthier choices. Economists call this a spillover effect. When one policy changes a behavior, it seamlessly shifts dozens of connected habits and outcomes, multiplying benefits unexpectedly. This is the everyday power of good policy. Nudging individual choices can trigger chain reactions health-wise. The secret? It's not just big interventions, but the delicate interplay of decisions, showing you don't always need a miracle drug to change a population's health, just smarter social design. What drives us? Not just money or logic, but a twisted cocktail of rewards, punishments, and unexpected human quirks. Let's decode how incentives make the world tick, freaky style. Levitt tells the wild tale of a candle factory in India, where workers were paid by how many candles they produced, not by quality. This led to workers chipping candles to produce higher counts but worthless products, a bizarre but classic case of perverse incentives. Management's reward structure encouraged exactly the opposite of what they intended, flipping profits into losses overnight. Imagine incentives as a mischievous genie. You get what you ask for, but sometimes what you want isn't what you say. The candle factory's pay-by-count strategy was their wish turned upside down. Like training a dog without clear commands, incentives misaligned with desired outcomes create chaos rather than control. This story unlocks why millions of policies fail. Without careful incentive design, humans outsmart the system simply by following their rational self-interest. Once you master this twist, you become a policymaker's secret weapon, seeing the hidden levers that really move people, not what's printed on the memo. Remember those prostitutes in bulletproof vests on a Chicago street? Their story started our journey, but now you see, beneath quirky facts lie deep truths about what drives human behavior. Whether it's climate hacks, smoking bans, or candle factories, the real game is incentives, often weird, sometimes counterintuitive, always powerful. Next time you face a problem, ask not what's obvious, but where the incentives point. Try this, notice your own incentives today. Are they pushing you toward clarity or chaos? Because understanding incentives isn't just economics, it's a superpower for everyday life. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.